Welcome to my TLC latest update channel. The courtroom felt really heavy, like bad news was coming. The old benches creaked as people fidgeted, and there was a faint smell of old paper. Meri was super still at the table. Her hands clenched so tight her knuckles were white. She didn't look at Kody or Robyn, scared she'd lose it if she did. Kody was leaning back, arms crossed, looking annoyed. He looked like he thought it was ridiculous to even be there. Robyn sat next to him, looking all sad and fragile with a tissue and teary eyes. When the judge walked in, everyone stood up. The chairs made a loud scraping sound. The judge looked around, stopping for a second on Meri, but didn't smile. "Mrs. Brown," the judge said, "you can start." Meri took a deep breath and then finally spoke. She didn't yell or blame anyone. She started with the past, how long she'd known Kody, the early days when things felt simple and honest. She talked about plural marriage, not as some special belief, but as a set of rules they'd all agreed to. What was fair? While she was talking, Kody shifted in his chair, sighed loudly, and shook his head. Robyn kept staring at the table, nodding like she was remembering bad stuff. Meri said the legal divorce was presented as something they had to do, not a choice. She was told it was just paperwork and nothing else would change. She said she believed it because she trusted Kody. Her voice got shaky when she said trusted. She talked about the days after. Not big dramatic things, but little stuff. Phone calls that stopped. Decisions made without her. Meetings she only heard about later. It wasn't like she was kicked out, more like she was quietly pushed aside. Kody leaned forward. "That's not right," he mumbled. The judge held up a hand. "You'll get your chance to talk." Meri went on. She said the money stuff slowly changed. Accounts, responsibilities, and access got messed with. When she asked about it, she was told she was being emotional and hard to deal with. Robyn started crying now. When people keep calling you emotional, you start to think the truth sounds like you are betraying everyone. The judge leaned forward, paying close attention. Meri's lawyer asked simple questions, letting Meri say things in her own way. Meri said the worst part wasn't the money or the papers. It was realizing she wasn't being protected anymore. She looked right at Kody. Her voice didn't shake. "You said this was for the family," she said, "but the family kept moving, without me." Kody opened his mouth, then closed it. Robyn sobbed. The courtroom was quiet. Then Meri's lawyer brought up DNA, and who was legally responsible for the kids and the bills. Not making accusations, just clarifying. "Explain that." The lawyer slowly talked about how marriage affects who's responsible for kids, and how that affects money stuff. DNA matters when things aren't fair. Meri just stared at the wall, looking determined. Robyn shook her head. "That's not how it is," she whispered, but the microphone picked it up. The judge didn't say anything. Things switched up because this was about facts now, not feelings. Kody spoke up. Louder. "This is being twisted around." The judge looked right at him. "The evidence will show what's up." They called a witness. Not family, not someone with a grudge. An old accountant. Neutral. Calm. He talked about dates and changes. Nothing else. Names taken off, names added. He never raised his voice. He just said what the paper said. Kody tapped his foot. The accountant said some protections only happened after legal changes. Decisions were made in a specific way, not by accident. The changes matched up with who was legally responsible for the kids. Robyn started breathing heavy. Meri finally relaxed her hands. The judge asked one question. Were these changes discussed with everyone? The accountant didn't answer right away. Not that I know of. That silence hung in the air. Sometimes silence says the loudest things. The judge nodded and said they'd take a break. As people stood up, Kody whispered to Robyn. Robyn nodded and wiped her face. Meri stayed in her seat. She let out a breath she'd been holding for years. She didn't look happy, but relieved, like she'd finally told the truth and was still standing. As the judge left, people whispered, not too loud, but enough to know what they were thinking. This wasn't going to end quietly. Before the next person testified, think about this. If the truth was this delicate, how strong could the family ever be? When court started again, the judge said the next witness would talk about decisions made inside the family and who had the power. Kody stared straight ahead. Robyn squeezed her tissue. It looked like it was keeping her together. Meri finally didn't look afraid. The room's atmosphere shifts as court restarts. It's not louder or quieter, just more intense. It's like everyone gets that something major just broke, and what happens now will decide how bad things get. Janelle's called to the stand. She walks steadily, head up, looking straight ahead. No stalling, no nerves. She doesn't glance at Kody or Robyn as she passes. It's not avoiding them. It's determination. The kind you get after years of holding back. She sits and gets sworn in. Her voice is clear when she says her name. Too clear, almost practiced, as if she's played this scene in her head 1,000 times. Her lawyer starts easy, asking about her role in the family, money, planning, the works. Janelle says she handled most of the money stuff for years. Budgets, accounts, what everyone put in, what they gave up. She actually uses the word gave up. Gave up. She says how plural marriage was supposed to work. Everyone sharing the load, everyone benefiting. She said it only works if everyone knows what's going on. Openness, trust. Then the questions change. She's asked about meetings she didn't get invited to, about decisions made before she even knew, about how often Meri pulled away, not physically, but on purpose. Janelle pauses. She takes a breath. It happened slowly, she says. So slowly that you'd sound nuts if you complained. Kody fidgets. Janelle says how things changed after Robyn became the legal wife. It wasn't out in the open, but little by little. Decisions were called urgent, time was short, and too confusing to get into. And if you wanted it explained, you were told to just trust the process. She looks at the judge for a second. You just stop asking, eventually. Robyn shakes her head, tears welling up again. When staying quiet becomes how you survive, being honest starts to feel risky. The judge asks if Janelle thinks these changes were on purpose. Janelle doesn't answer right away. She looks at her hands, then up again. Yes, she says, I do. The word hangs there. Kody leans forward. That's not right, he says sharply. You're making things up. Janelle finally turns to him. She doesn't look angry, just let down. I'm remembering it, she says quietly. The courtroom buzzes. The judge calls for quiet. Janelle goes on. She saw Meri slowly lose her footing. With money, feelings, relationships, support became conditional. Affection was only given in return for something. Loyalty meant staying quiet. Then she says something that clearly gets to Kody. I didn't speak up because I was scared, she admits. Scared I'd be next. Robyn sobs before she can stop herself. Kody's face turns hard. And right then, the story changes, because fear comes from control, not love. The judge thanks Janelle and lets her go. As she walks down, she passes Meri. They look at each other for a split second. No smile, no nod, just understanding. Christine's called next. She's different. She doesn't seem tense. She seems free, like she's already burned the bridge and doesn't care who sees the smoke. She gets sworn in and then laughs a little, a harsh, humorless laugh. I never thought things would end up here, she says, gesturing around the courtroom. But I'm not shocked. Her lawyer asks about the family's emotions. Christine doesn't hesitate. She talks about rules that were never written down, expectations that change depending on who you were, compliments given only to certain people, and punishment disguised as education. She says Robyn wasn't the bad guy everyone thinks, at least not directly. She didn't steal him, Christine says. She let him choose. Robyn completely breaks down, shoulders shaking, hiding her face. Kody stands up fast. Enough is enough. The judge bangs the gavel. Sit down. The room goes silent. Christine doesn't even blink. She says affection became like money, and doing what you were told got you closer. Questioning anything meant being shut out. She explains how Meri was pushed aside way before she even knew it. She was punished, Christine says calmly, and we all saw it. Kody shakes his head hard. Christine turns to the judge. The truth is, this family stopped being a family the second things weren't fair anymore. And here's the big question. If love needs obedience, was it even love to begin with? The judge asks Christine if she thinks Kody was trying to be mean. Christine thinks about it. I just think he thought he was entitled to it. That hurts. Christine leaves without looking back. The courtroom feels exposed now, like after a big storm. Meri's called back to the stand. This time she doesn't tell the story again. She backs up what others said with dates, talks, decisions. She answers clear and calm, like she doesn't need anyone to agree with her anymore. Her lawyer asks one last thing. Did you think you were still an equal partner after the legal split? Meri says it straight. At first, yes. Then no. Kody sighs loudly. You're up next. Kody stands. For the first time, he seems unsure. His answers start out strong, all rehearsed. He talks about family stuff, misunderstandings, people getting too emotional. He makes it sound like he was overwhelmed and nobody understood him. But then the judge asks a simple question. Were all decisions made with everyone knowing what was going on and agreeing to it? Kody pauses. Too long. In court, pausing says more than saying no. Robyn whispers his name. Kody finally says, I did the best I could. The judge nods slowly. Court's over for the day. As people get up, you can feel the tension, and reporters are waiting outside. Everyone knows this is about more than just what people think. It's about being held responsible. Meri stays seated until everyone's starting to leave. She doesn't look like she won. She looks free. So here's the thing. If the truth meant everyone had to give up their version of the story, was the lie ever worth it? Court continues tomorrow, and things are about to get real. The court session starts the next day, but the mood is different. It's not loud or emotional, but tense. Everyone seems to get that the damage is done, and today is about what happens next. The seats fill up fast. People whisper less and stare ahead more. Kody walks in last. He doesn't seem mad, just wary. His shoulders are tight, and he moves carefully, like he knows things are shaky. Robyn is right behind him, her eyes pussy. Her makeup is fixed, and her hands are clenched like she's trying to hold herself together. Meri is already sitting down. She doesn't look their way. The judge gets things going and speaks to Kody right away. No warm-up, just a straight request for his statement. Kody goes to the stand. When he takes the oath, his jaw clenches. He nods like he's agreeing to rules he hates but has to follow. His voice is steady, like the one viewers know from TV. He starts by saying he was overwhelmed. Too many wives, too many things he had to do, too much to handle as the leader. He says he tried to be fair to everyone. He admits he made mistakes, but never on purpose. The judge doesn't react. Then the questions start. They aren't about feelings, but about how things were set up. Who decided things? Who had control? Who gained from legal changes? Kody answers carefully, talking around things and not giving direct answers. He talks about everyone agreeing and sharing the load. He mentions family meetings that anyone could go to. Meri's lawyer gets up. Were those meetings optional or a must? Kody pauses. They were a chance for people to share. The lawyer nods. And what about when Meri stopped getting invited? Kody gets defensive. That's not what happened. So how did it go down? Silence. Kody clears his throat. People grow apart. Because when the leader avoids blame, creating distance is a good excuse. The lawyer shows documents. Dates, emails, money info. Nothing crazy, just patterns. Things that happen over and over. Agreements. Kody's voice changes a bit. He's not as sure of himself, and sounds like he is trying to defend himself. He says, nobody was punished, and nobody was left out on purpose. He claims, feelings mess with memories, and bad feelings change the way people see things. Then the judge jumps in for the first time while Kody is talking. Mr. Brown, the judge says calmly, do you think things should be fair, and everyone should have the same info? Yes, Kody answers right away. Do you believe people need to get it before they agree to it? Yes. Then explain why big decisions were made without telling everyone everything. Kody opens his mouth, then closes it. He looks at Robyn. The judge sees it. And right then, everyone gets it. It wasn't about forgetting, it was about choosing who mattered. Next up is Robyn. She walks to the stand slowly, already crying and shaking. Her voice is shaky as she takes the oath. She says she feels attacked and misunderstood. She also feels blamed for stuff she never asked for. She says she never wanted to take anyone's place, get special treatment, or have control. Her lawyer asks about her relationship with Meri. Robyn tightens her lips. I loved her, she says quietly. I trusted her. The lawyer asks if Robyn knew about changes with the money because of legal changes. Robyn shakes her head quickly. That was Kody's thing to worry about. The judge raises an eyebrow. And did you gain from those changes? Robyn hesitates. I don't know. Meri finally looks up. Not mad, not emotional, just looking. Robyn talks about her feelings, her worries, and her wanting things to be steady for her children. She makes it sound like she was protecting them and just trying to make it. Then Meri's lawyer asks one question. Did you know Meri lost what she had when you got it? Robyn freezes. She starts breathing fast. I didn't ask, she whispers. The room is quiet. Because not asking is still a choice if it helps you. The judge thanks Robyn and lets her go. The room feels small now, as if the walls have moved closer. Everyone feels the change. It's not about what people meant to do, but how things turned out. Meri is called back to clarify things. She speaks calmly. No yelling, no blaming. She confirms what happened, conversations, and when she knew she was no longer included. She says something quietly that hits hard. I wasn't mad when it happened. And confusion keeps you silent. Kody stares at the table. The judge asks Meri one last question. If you knew then what you know now, would you have agreed? Meri answers right away. No pause. No need to say anything else. And that's when it's obvious. Agreeing to something without knowing the complete truth is just going along with it. The judge calls for a short break. As everyone gets up, Kody stays seated, staring straight ahead, jaw tight. He doesn't answer. Meri gets up slowly, looking more stable than ever. The courtroom empties in tense silence. When the judge comes back, he's colder and more serious. The judge says that the court will now think about if playing with someone's feelings and keeping info from them counts as harm under the law. Kody tenses up, because this isn't about what people think anymore. It's about taking responsibility. And as the judge starts saying what will come next, think about this. If control takes the place of teamwork, can love even last when the truth comes out? The decision won't be made today, but things are headed in a clear direction. And for the first time, Kody looks like he gets that something can't be taken back. The fourth day in court starts quietly, which is almost worse. No yelling, no tears at first. Just this tense feeling hangs in the air. Everyone knows today things get real. The judge walks in, serious, with papers ready. No warm-up, just straight to it. Today, the judge says, we talk about what happened. That one word changes everything. Kody tenses up. Robyn's hands shake before she's even called. Meri sits up straight, calm, ready. Not because she's okay, but because she's already dealt with the fallout. The court reviews the facts of what went down. Not feelings, just what actually happened. Lost access, lost say, lost security. Each thing laid out carefully, like stacking blocks. Kody's lawyer tries to change the subject, bringing up intentions, stress, the weird religious setup. The judge listens, then cuts him off. What you meant to do explains why you did it, the judge says plainly. It doesn't undo the hurt. Silence. Meri's lawyer asks if Meri can come back for a sec, not to testify again, but to clear up one thing. The effect. Meri stands up. She doesn't look like she wants payback. She looks like she's listing losses. She says how things changed after the legal stuff, in ways that seem normal, which somehow makes it worse. She talks about being cut out of decisions, about property she helped pay for, finding out about big family plans from group texts she wasn't on, sitting in the same room as Kody and not knowing where she fit in anymore. Then she says something that makes the judge sit up straight. I stopped talking, Meri says quietly, because every time I opened my mouth, I was told I was the problem. Kody closes his eyes. Robyn stares ahead. Because when talking gets you punished, not talking is how you protect yourself. The judge asks how long she stayed quiet. Meri answers right away. Years. The courtroom takes that in. Kody's lawyer objects, saying it's emotional, not legal. The judge says no. The effect isn't some idea, the judge says. It's real life. Janelle is brought back too, not to blame, but to back things up. She confirms dates, changes, and that things went fair on purpose. Then they bring up Christine. Her old testimony is played, just the important parts. Her words hit harder now, without the emotion, tied to a pattern. Kody is called again. This time, the vibe is colder. The judge asks him about the effect, not what he meant to do. Kody struggles. He goes on about being a leader, being responsible, spread too thin. He says he didn't know Meri felt so alone. The judge asks one quick question. When was the last time you asked her? Kody doesn't answer. Robyn grabs his arm. And everyone gets it. You don't have to be mean to neglect someone, just not care enough. The judge turns to Robyn. She's called as someone who benefited, not as the one at fault. That's important. Robyn's lawyer objects, but the judge lets it happen. Robyn is asked if she saw things weren't fair. She cries now, voice cracking, saying she didn't want anyone to get hurt. The judge listens, then asks something simple but hard. Did you ever offer to give anything up? Robyn freezes. She opens her mouth. Nothing comes out. The judge nods slowly, writing, because wanting to do good doesn't make up for things being unfair. The court starts talking about what to do now. Not to punish, but to fix things. Money changes, admitting fault, making things right. This isn't just talk anymore. The judge says the court can't undo the years of hurt feelings, but it can say who is responsible and make them fix it. Meri doesn't react. She doesn't care about revenge. What's important is the truth being written down officially. The judge says the court will make a statement saying there was emotional manipulation by controlling information and unfair money stuff because of the legal changes. Kody's head drops. Robyn cries quietly. Because when the record is changed, the story is dead. The judge pauses before ending the day, looking right at Kody. This court sees a failure of leadership, the judge says. Not because you wanted to hurt anyone, but because you didn't care enough to see it happening. Court is over for the day. No rush, no talking, just heavy quiet. As Meri gets her stuff, Kody finally looks at her. She looks back. No anger, just distance. Outside, reporters wait, but Meri walks by without a word. Janelle and Christine follow. Robyn is covered by Kody's arm, but even that looks different. Protective, but weaker, because things have changed. And tomorrow, the decision is final. The last day starts calm. No tense whispers, no big entrances, just quiet footsteps and papers rustling as everyone settles in. The courtroom seems smaller now, not physically, but because the truth's already taken up all the space. Meri sits still, hands in her lap. She doesn't seem nervous or hopeful. She just seems done, like she's been through the worst and is now waiting for it to be over. Kody sits stiffly, staring straight ahead. The defiance he had before is gone. Now there's just something quiet, something hard to place. A guy realizing he can't control everything. Robyn's next to him, beat. Not fragile, just exhausted. The judge comes in, and everyone stands one last time. Please sit, the judge says. No intro, no recap. The judge gets right to it. The voice is steady, professional, almost gentle, which somehow makes the words hit harder. The court sees that Meri Brown was emotionally hurt by being shut out, controlled, and put at a financial disadvantage after the legal changes. The court recognizes that while there's no criminal intent, he's responsible for what happened. Kody's shoulders slump a bit. Robyn closes her eyes. The judge keeps going, listing what needs to change. Money stuff, a written apology, a clear separation of duties. No drama, no payback. Just final. Meri listens without reacting. This isn't about winning for her. It's about being seen. And sometimes, that's the only real justice. The judge pauses and adds something not written down. This court sees that emotional harm often happens not because people are cruel, but because they neglect others while acting like they're in charge. The room takes that in. Kody swallows hard. The judge turns to Meri. You don't have to say anything, the judge says. But if you want to make a last statement, you can. Everyone looks at Meri. She stands up, She doesn't mess with the mic, take a breath, or look at Kody at first. I didn't come here to punish anyone, she says quietly. I came here because I needed the truth to exist outside of my head. She looks at Kody. I used to think keeping quiet was being loyal, she says. Now I know it was losing myself. Robyn starts crying again, softly. Meri doesn't look at her. I don't hate you, Meri says. I just don't fit into the story you needed anymore. She sits down. No clapping, no reaction. Just quiet. Closure isn't loud. It's honest. The judge thanks Meri and ends the case. The gavel drops. It's over. As people get up, something unexpected happens. Kody turns to Meri. Not in a big, angry way. Quietly. I didn't mean to hurt you, he says. Meri pauses, then nods once. I believe you, she says. But meaning to do something isn't the same as being responsible. Kody doesn't say anything. Outside, cameras wait, reporters yell questions, and mics reach for faces wanting to say something. Meri walks past them. She doesn't stop. Janelle and Christine walk with her, not like guards, but like they're standing by her. Robyn stays behind, upset, holding Kody's arm. But even that touch feels unsure now. Inside, the doors close. And something else ends too. The story the world bought, the one about sacrifice without asking, being together without being equal, can't survive this. Not because the court killed it, but because the truth finally took its place. And here's what sticks with people. What happens when the cameras are off and the story can't protect anyone anymore? Meri drives off alone. No dramatic music. No victory speech. Just quiet. Later, when someone asks why she didn't say more, she just says, because I finally said enough. And that's the end of the story. Not with revenge or breakdown, but with clarity.